papers all uneven. Shalom, you guys. Shabbat
That's how they
shalom.
were printed.
What?
They were printed exactly like that.
No, all you have to do is take the paper and tap it down, and it'll make the paper get all centered. Okay, Kamari, while I get everything shared and stuff, please go ahead and tell us how your day was, or tell us how your week was, not your day.
Well, it was pretty good.
Okay. Anything important, special, amazing, blah, blah, blah happened in your week?
Nope.
Nothing blah, blah, blah happened in your week?
Well, it's right. That's right. That was fun.
The spray guy was fun? Why was the spray guy fun this week?
You know, we get to run around and pretty much do stuff.
That's so weird.
We
Okay.
didn't get to go at the house.
We went to the pool on Sunday. We spent like all day at the pool.
It
y'all.
was nighttime.
Yeah, when we left. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're like, we didn't get to do anything. I'm like,
I
well,
thought
what's
you
the pool
didn't
for?
count. Oh, that's just for Christmas.
What else? Well, you didn't go to Bellingham this week. I went to Bellingham this week. Anything? Or is that it?
Well, what else do we do? We watched the movie, my favorite movie. Yeah.
Sahara. You know, we got to watch a movie.
I know we got ice cream. We got what is it called? M&M ice cream. It wasn't really.
Yeah, we got M&M. See, we did a lot of things this week.
Yes, I
On
am.
our friends page, on your page.
I am ready.
Sorry, guys, just getting this set up on all the other accounts. I can only do it once the live has started, so please bear with me. Okay, so Ariel, tell everyone how your week was.
Fantastic!
Fantastic. Okay. And what made your week fantastic this week?
This is like I did mazes today for listening to the kids.
So you made mazes for your friends.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
And Mr. Minga came over and we had a maze race on Friday. See? And I couldn't figure it out, so my mom was trying to do it for me. Then I was on the couch, kept flashing them off the laptop. I don't know why she did that, but it was just so funny.
Okay.
And I started making it from Friday to today.
Okay. Anything else? That was good.
But that's not.
What's wrong?
You got a piece of like corn something or like the back of your hair.
Oh, it's pink.
What is it? It's a piece of lint. Okay.
What's that?
And my week was good. Most high willing, some things will orchestrate themselves and come into effect, and then we'll be able to have some things to offer to the brethren. Start watch. So I had a good week. I got to enjoy me. Miss Dominga and I got to go and spend some time together and go meet some cool people. So, almost done, peoples. Uno momento. You know, one of my children deleted Facebook off of the spare phone. I don't know what that was about. That was pretty weird. You deleted the Facebook off his phone? You rude.
L-N-D.
Oh my gosh.
O-N-E-S.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Only dog. Woohoo! At the
I'm sorry. Like, I gotta keep you guys off Facebook.
I don't even use this phone. This is the spare. Yes. Do your children do that? Do they like touch you and like grab onto you and?
Just like laugh.
Yes.
Dad said in his service you won't be a better mother always on Facebook all day, which you do
Yeah.
all
And
day.
why am I on Facebook? Please.
Just to see things.
Really? That's why I'm on
Yeah.
Facebook. So I'm not up there selling my book and stuff. That's not what I'm doing on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but sometimes you have to make it on
Like,
the PC or
sometimes-
something.
pretend like this is
Y'all, these
your
kids is-
phone. You're just like, yeah, I'm gonna
What do you
text
need to
you.
go there?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, yeah, I love that.
My
Oh,
What book?
Okay. Oh yeah. This is so, yeah. Oh, I know about that. Yeah. Always change.
Candace, this girl is always moving around. She's always dancing. This is just, that's what they do. I don't know. They're wild and crazy. Okay, we're ready. Are we ready? Can we get ready? Yeah, okay. So, today's service has been brought to you by...
Nina's Toy Toy.
No, you're wrong. The Magenta Dahlia. The Magenta Dahlia is a wonderful coloring book for your little princesses as they learn the value of Yah's purpose in their life. This one has been colored by me. I colored that. That was me.
Oh,
I got lost halfway and I started with one color and then ended up with another. Anyways, we've got the Magenta Dahlia and we have Yaloni and the the Magenta Dahlia is brought to you by Nista Parach, a wonderful sister in the Almighty. And the Yalani and the Matana is a wonderful book about a little girl who learns the value of the gifts that Yah has placed in her life. If you've watched any of my services, then you will know that I frequent this book for studies because it is amazing. Doula Amir Batyah did an amazing job on this book. Yes, ma'am, you're interrupting me. Come on. So get you a copy of this book after the Shabbat. And of course, the 3 Hebrew boys who make that wolf.
Always shine.
And this book comes with a coloring book, actually 2 coloring books. So if you don't have your copy of the 3 Little Hebrew Boys and the Big Bad Wolf, which is about Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego as they face the trial of their life, the fiery furnace, then go ahead and copy a copy after the Shabbat. Wonderful illustrations, fully colorful. Your children will love it. All right, so.
But my mom won't ever let me color it.
No! Get your own coloring book. I do need to buy them their own copy. Yes. We've got, Hannah said it'll be your own kids. Auntie said, yes, this nothing. Auntie said, hey family, how are you? Say hey, Auntie Cherise.
Hey.
And Candace said she forgot her baby's name, Kamari. Yes, sweetheart. Okay. All right, back up on me. You don't need to read it. Kamari, bring me that stool. I'm gonna put my phone on that so that way.
No, I want
Kamari. Is that gonna irritate you guys? That actually is pretty irritating. And that's not gonna fit. Nope, that's not gonna fit. Get out of here! Woo-hoo! Kamari, come over and sit down. Alright, you guys. Oh my gosh. Like Hannah said, it'd be your own kids. Alright. Today, we're going to talk about patient, enduring faith. You guys said patient, enduring faith.
Patient, enduring faith. Oh.
How many weeks have we been talking about patience, enduring, and faith?
Ever.
Because it really applies. We see
I
it.
heard you think when you do your service, then you think it's about
Hey, I just forgot to read Zahara's Screaming Mom.
Zahara Scream Mom. Yes, we hear Zahara. Okay. So sit back. Come on, focus. Please, focus. Get with it. All right, I didn't introduce everybody. This is Kamari, the Truth Seeker. And today we have with us Rainbow. Rainbow has joined us today. And my name is Sister Keturah, Sister Whitney, Teacher Keturah, Teacher whatever you want to call me.
Kamari.
Right? So we've been talking about patience and endurance and faith, which are all linked together, right? And you will see this. The reason why I keep bringing it up is because over and over and over and over and over again, you will see that the people that are successful in spiritual things, right? The people, stop reading my notes. The people that are striving and are doing Yah's will have patience. You too. Endure and have faith. Mark, please bring me my water. So, scoot over. All this couch space. Scoot your booty.
That's why I know zero amount.
Here, I'll move over a little bit and you can have some more couch space.
Alright.
You just go to that. That's rude. Okay, have a seat. Let me get some water.
How can we boil water?
Because you're not even doing anything, you're sitting here except for being annoying right now.
Okay, Genesis.
I said balloons.
Mm.
What's balloons? I don't know.
Do you guys need your rooms for today?
No.
'Cause y'all are tripping.
What?
Y'all are tripping. Y'all are
Trip at all.
tripping. Okay. So today we're going to talk about a man named Joseph in the Bible. What do you know about Joseph?
I don't know.
He has love.
He has love, okay. That's a good
Faith.
one. He's got faith, okay. Y'all are just,
God, the Holy
He
Ghost.
got patience.
he's got patience, okay. So you guys don't know anything about him?
I'm asking.
Joseph was a dreamer. That is because that phone's linked to this.
Computer.
No, it's linked to the live stream. So what you're hearing is the chimes. I'll turn it down if it's being a distraction to you. You're hearing the
What
chimes
is
from from the comments. Thank you, Lori. Yapa Shalom says Shalom, Shalom, beautiful people. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Yapa. Everybody
There's
say
some other people.
Shabbat Shalom. Right? Okay. So, Joseph was a dreamer of dreams. Do you have dreams?
Yeah.
Do you have dreams?
Yeah.
Tell me a dream that you have. Simply, quickly. You got to the count of 10.
Wait,
to
hold
tell
on.
me
Tell
about a simple
I
dream.
got it.
Okay. A simple dream. Tell me a simple dream you have.
I had a dream to have a 3-story house.
Okay, good job. And do you think that dream was from the Almighty? Back up and looking at my phone. Do you think that dream was from the Almighty? You think it was from the Almighty?
Yeah.
You gonna get your three-story house?
That's what I was like.
Okay, high five. Okay, Kamari, let's go. Tell us a dream you had.
I had a dream about Zahara making a new movie.
Okay. I have to put these kids on timer because I tell you, these kids will, their faces off. Okay. Scoot over just a little bit. So is that the dream you told me about? Is that your favorite dream?
Yeah.
That was your favorite dream? And was that your favorite dream? Or do you have a different, what's your favorite dream?
See, right house.
To go to JoJo Siwa's house. I don't know why I asked that. That was like walking into the trap. Everybody say Shalom, Gia.
Shalom, Tia.
Gia is Jocelyn's mom.
Hey! Johnson! Hey! Let's do the rival.
Scoot over. Be quiet. Right? Okay, so her favorite dream is to go to JoJo Siwa's house. So, no, Angel's not on yet. And it's Ellenberger. Etchenberger. Anyways, so do you guys know that the Almighty can talk to you through your dreams?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You can have a dream that the Almighty's giving you because He's trying to show you something. So,
Like he's showing me that dream because I'm actually going to have a 3-story house.
no, I don't think that He showed you that dream because you're not dream. Usually when the Almighty shows you a dream, I'll say probably like 75% of the time is because you're doing something He's trying to warn you. Are you licking your hand? Stop it. Right? So it's because He's trying to warn you. It's His way of trying to like get you, because sometimes we're like walking towards the kingdom, right? We're walking in our life and we're going, and sometimes there's this path which is the straight and narrow, right? You know that? Everybody start walking down the straight and narrow, and sometimes we're walking down the straight and narrow and we kind of start doing like this, trying to start getting off the path, and He's like, no, come back this way, and we're walking some more, walking down the path, and we start going like this, and He's like, no, come back this way, right? So a lot of the times when the Almighty's giving you dreams, it's to show you something and help keep you on the, stop it! It's not funny, it's disgusting, you're being a distraction. Apologize to them. That's what I'm start making you guys do, because they're watching too. And if I have to stop and I have to address you, then that means that you're interrupting them. So now you're going to apologize to them.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. So, even though the Almighty can talk to you through dreams, as we just talked to Ariel, that doesn't mean that every single dream that you have is of the Almighty. A lot of the dreams is just our consciousness and things that we want, like going to see JoJo Siwa coming to fruition in our mind. So the man,
He said to walk.
that's what Siwa, S-I-W-A, Siwa. That's her name, Josie what?
I have a
It's
question.
CY.
Okay. Yes, come on.
So is Joseph that one that like gave him a dream that like one was gonna die and one was gonna be like a baker?
Good job, Kamari. That is Joseph. We're gonna get to that, right? So this man that we're gonna talk about, his name was Joseph, and he had dreams. But as we'll see later, not only did Joseph have dreams, but he had interpretation of dreams, which is a gift of the Spirit. So he also had something. He also had a coat of many colors. It was a really beautiful coat. And back then, colorful fabric was something special. So does that kind of ring a bell? Joseph and his
Yes, because they
I think they call it the multicolored coat or something like that is how they refer to it. Have you heard of that, Ariel?
Because like they have like camels and stuff.
Yeah, and like now we have synthetic dyes, but they didn't have that back then. So today we're not going to be focusing on his coat. That's what most people talk about is Joseph's coat, and that's cool and everything. But you guys have elevated, we've risen up past that, so we're not going to talk about his coat. Joseph is a really long story. It goes from like Genesis chapter 37 to Genesis chapter 50, which is the end of Genesis. So we're not going to read all those chapters. I'm going to kind of peruse the story. We're just going to like a rock where you like toss a rock into a river, and we're kind of going to go like that through the story. That way you get the gist.
Let me tell them the first one.
No, I don't.
So the
Kamari,
boys.
I don't need you to tell them the first one.
Man, I love
Kamari?
stories.
Guess what? Then we'll start a story time with Kamari. But this is not it. All right. So Joseph was one of the 12 tribes of Israel. How many sons did Israel have? 12. Joseph was one of them. Joseph was the firstborn of his beloved wife Rachel. And so we're going to go to Genesis chapter 37, verse 2.
Wasn't
Okay, well she's going to read because she's going and you're running around. Genesis chapter 37, verse 2.
done?
No, you're not.
He is. Okay, go ahead and read, Kamari.
These are the
Generations.
generations of Job.
Jacob. Joseph.
Joseph, being 17 years old, was
feeding the flock. Come on, Kai. Put your finger down. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, flock with his brethren, and the lady
The lad
was with the sons of
Bilhah
Bilhah and with the wives of Joseph.
with the sons of Zipporah. Okay, these are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flocks with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zipporah, his father's wives. Joseph brought unto his father an evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all of his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. So, how do you think that made his brethren feel? Like if he had 11 brothers, right? Or 10 brothers that were above him, that were older than him. And all of a sudden, here comes his little brother, and his brother, like, gets this coat of, like, a bunch of colors, with many colors. And you'll be like, where's my coat? Like, what, I'm the firstborn, or I'm this child, I'm that child, right? They probably all felt like they deserved a coat, but only Joseph got the coat. So what do you think that caused issues?
Yes.
So going back to Genesis verse 4. Ariel, go ahead and read. Genesis 37 verse 4.
And when the brethren saw that the father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak
peaceably unto them. Right? So they hated him. Oh, we hate this guy with this coat and he thinks he's better than us. So Joseph's brothers already didn't like him. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, Joseph started getting dreams from the Almighty. And that's when things got worse for Joseph. Because it's not like he just was like dreaming things and he was going about his business. But the things that he was dreaming, they didn't like that. And sometimes it's like that. before you can have sunshine, right? Before you can experience the good things of the Almighty, you kind of gotta.
You have to have something back home in your city.
Yeah, you got to go through the rain before you can get the sunshine. So verse 5, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told his brethren, and they hated him yet more. And he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in a field, and lo, my sheep rose up and stood upright. And behold, your sheep stood around about, and made ambience to my sheep. And his brethren said unto him, shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him more yet for his dreams, and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, like, oh my gosh, Joseph, just leave us alone, we already hate you. And told his brethren and said, behold, I dreamed the dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made ambience unto me. So what do you think that last dream meant?
Yeah, that the Most High loves him.
For the Most High loved him?
Like,
Okay. Ariel, what do you think that dream meant? I mean, Rainbow. Sit up, Rainbow.
I think it's
For the Most High loved him? Well, it's kind of like the first dream. That he stood up, so here's his sheep. They're all binding sheep. They're all like putting them and wrapping them and stuff like that. And then his sheep goes, yeah. And then all the other sheep are standing all around his sheep. And they did ambience, so they gave him respect. Right? So, and then verse 10. And he told it to his father and his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come down and bow ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same. At this point, Joseph is young, and he's pretty much enemies with all of his brothers, because Joseph was one of Israel's youngest child. I stopped at verse 11.
Okay.
So Joseph was Jacob, or Israel's youngest child. All of his brothers were adults at this time. Can you imagine being an adult and you have a little child brother and you hate him? It's like you're an adult. Like, leave me alone. Like, let me.
They probably leave.
They probably were married already. Minus Benjamin. Benjamin was younger. Benjamin was the last son. But it's just like, why are y'all hating on me? Go about, put your foot down. Okay, now we're going to move to verse 18. Remember, we're skimming the story because it's a really long story. And when they saw, so now Joseph's brothers went off into the field. Okay, you're not going to read, I'm going to read it. Joseph's brothers went off into the field, and they're off doing their own thing. And Jacob, or Israel, was like, hey, go check on your brothers, because remember the last time Joseph brought back an evil report about what they were doing. So Israel sent them out and said, go tell me what your brothers are doing. So now we're going to verse 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into a pit. And we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what shall become of his dreams. So they're mad, right? He had these dreams, and they're mad about these dreams, and they're like, well, if we kill him, how is dreams going to come true? That's pretty accurate, right? Because if you're dead, then I can't worship you if you're dead. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was coming to his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took it and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. That's gotta suck, right? Sitting in an empty hole with no water. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes, and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spiceries, balms, myrrh, going to carry it down into Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him unto Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be upon him, for he is our brother and of our flesh. And his brothers were content. Then there passed by a Midianite merchantman, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And when Reuben returned to the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brother, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and they killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they set the coat of many colors, and brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Now know whether it is thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without a doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth on his loins, and mourned his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, and a captain of his guard. So, go ahead and tell me your own words what's happening, Kamaran. What happened so far that I read?
They lied to his father. They sold him to a different place. They tried to kill him.
Okay, Ariel, in your own words, tell me what happened. Speak up. Okay, well, add one thing then. They threw him in a pit. Right? So Joseph's brothers sold him as a slave unto the Ishmaelites, who took them and sold him into Egypt. Egypt. Have we ever talked about Egypt before? When did we talk about Egypt?
When the crossing from.
With Moses, right? Moses in the 10th plagues. Remember that, because this is important.
Wait, he turned into Moses.
No, he doesn't turn into Moses, silly boy. So if Joseph,
wait, is it when like the girl once married him, like he refused?
Yes, that does happen. Good job, Mark.
Yeah.
So if Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, that means they made money, right? Because they sold him. So if you sell something, you get money back, right? So they got money for selling him. Then they go to their father, right? And they try to disguise their dastardly deeds. What do they do to disguise what they did to Joseph?
They put blood on this.
So they killed the animal. This animal wasn't even doing anything. He's like, man, and like, ah! And they took him and killed him, right? So now this animal has to die for no reason. They tear up his coat. They put blood on it, and then they bring it to the father. They're like, oh, Dad, look what we found. Is this Joseph's coat? And remember, Joseph's coat was special. He's probably like one of a kind. So they already knew it was Joseph's coat, but they're going to pretend like to their father, oh, Dad, tell us, is this our brother's coat? And what does Israel say?
Israel says this.
Speak up so they can hear you.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, right? So now Israel's sad because that was his beloved son. So he's all sad because his son is dead, and they're like, it's okay, Dad. Dad, just don't cry, Dad. And then he's like, get off of me. That's so rude, right? That's just sin upon sin upon sin. And that's what happens. When you tell one lie, you have to tell another lie to cover it up. And you see that one sin gets you even more entangled in all kinds of other sin than the first one did. So, it's like, what about Joseph's friends? Were they sad? Sit up. Both of you need to sit up. What about Joseph's friends? Were they sad?
Yes, yes.
What about Joseph's mom? Was she sad?
Definitely. She probably was.
So here they are trying to hurt one person. Who's the one person they were trying to hurt? Joseph, right? But look at all the other people that get hurt. When you sin, it doesn't stay isolated, right? It doesn't stay just that one little thing. It spreads like an infection. And that's why we have to always be focused on making sure we keep the Most High's commandments, because the Most High knows these things. And when an infection spreads, it affects all kinds of things. Did you know I can get a cut on my toe and get an infection in my blood, and that infection goes all the way to my heart and can kill me? It can poison my blood. It can eat my foot, and then I lose my foot. I can lose my leg. So infections spread and they affect a lot of things. So we have to be focused on making sure that we do not sin, because sin is an infection. Okay? So back to Joseph. Woo! So he probably feels stuck right now, because where is he at? Where's Joseph right now in our story?
Egypt.
He's in Egypt, and he's a what?
Slave.
He's a slave. But
He now became an African American.
no. But like the Almighty gave him those dreams and showed him that he will reign over his father and mother, he has to have patience and enduring faith to believe that those things are going to come true. So, if Joseph's sad, he's a slave, how do you think he feels?
Very sad.
Speak up.
Very sad because his brothers just sold him as a slave for money.
Yes. What do you think, Ariel?
So sad.
So sad. So,
And guess who did this to the next person in the party?
okay. So while it's a fact that he's sad, we have to remember that, yeah, he has no family. He's young, he's a kid at this time. But we have to remember not to look in the natural, right? Is he going to probably be able to get out of this situation? No, not by himself. But with the Almighty, yes, because with the Almighty we can do all kinds of things. So let's turn to Psalms. Psalms 119.
Oh man, really fast.
119.
I'm almost there. Right now.
Psalms 119.
Wait, 100?
Yes, 119. Uno, tres. Uno, 50, cente. How do you say 100 in Spanish?
I'm doing
Cien. Uno, I don't know. Anything. Anyway, okay, Kamari said 119 verse 133.
100.
Verse 133. 133. 133. 133. That's 17. 133. Keep going. 133. 130. 133.
There's a high difference.
104. 137. Okay, Ariel's there. Go ahead, Ariel.
Lord, myself and thy word, and let no
Iniquity,
have
dominion.
over me.
Okay, keep going.
Deliver me from the
Oppression,
of man, so will keep thy
precepts,
make thy face to shine upon thy servant, and teach me thy
statutes. That's right. So order my steps, Almighty. Let not iniquity have any dominion over me. Deliver me from the oppression of man, so I will keep thy precepts. Make thy face to shine upon thy servant, and teach me thy statutes. Proverbs 16 and 7.
There.
Okay, Ariel.
When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his
Enemies,
enemies to be at place
make
with him.
peace with him. That's right. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. This is important. It's going to take place coming up. Romans 8 and 28.
Wait, I got some.
Romans 8 and 28. Romans.
Ooh, there. Man, I don't like fan. Mom, why do you have this fan on? It's so long.
There.
Oh, God.
8 and 28. Go ahead, Ariel.
And we know that all things God who are
Called. According to his purpose. And we know, the scripture is very important, and we know, sit up, that all things work together for good to them that love Yah, to them that are the called according to his purpose, right? So, back to skimming, right? Here's Joseph, he's in Egypt, he's been sold as a slave. He goes into this guy, his name is Potiphar. He goes into Potiphar's house, right? Skim, skim, skim. He's about 17 years old. And hold on. Do you think that when Joseph was in Egypt that Yah couldn't see him or couldn't show him favor? He could, right? Yah did see him, and Yah did hear Joseph, and Yah blessed him and the works of his hands, so that Potiphar promoted him to be over his whole house. And even though Joseph was promoted, that didn't mean that Joseph could act foolish, right? He still had to keep his integrity and behave himself. So Joseph went into Egypt, started as a slave, then Yah rose him up to the point of being Potiphar's second in command. Well, Potiphar was first in Joseph. Genesis 39 and 5. And it came to pass from that time that he made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had. And the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in his house in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Now, here's what Kamari was talking about. Potiphar's wife. She sees she sees Joseph, right? And she's like, oh man, that's a good looking Hebrew right there. And you know what she did? She tried to get Joseph to sleep with her. And Joseph, because he was a man of integrity, was like, no, 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 right? And he ran away. But when he ran away, he left something. This man just be leaving his clothes everywhere. So he left his garments or his coat, right? And Joseph's and Potiphar's wife, she's like, oh, look what I got. So here's what she does. Joseph just can't catch a break. She goes and she's like, ah! Somebody come help me! Right? And all the men come running because they hear Potiphar's wife screaming. And she's like, that Hebrew, he tried to rape me. And he ran away when he heard me scream. And here's his coat as evidence. Isn't it kind of like what already happened to him? Lie! She's a liar, right? So what do you think when Potiphar came home? What do you think happened when he came home? He was happy. He's like, yay! Joseph tried to rape my wife. I made him second in command, and I made him over everything. And look what he does to say thank you. He tries to rape my wife. Do you think he was like that? No, he was mad, right? And he had Joseph thrown into prison. Poor Joseph. He could not catch a break. He done went from having dreams and being hated by his brother, to being in a hole, to being sold as a slave, to being raised up, to being lied on again, and now he's in prison. Do you think that's the end?
No, he has friends.
He has friends? Okay, let's find out. Right? So, sometimes, in order for Yah to bring you where he needs you to be, right, he's got to bring you through some things. So,
the treacherous and deepest fire of the world.
Right? You got to go through like your fiery furnace, right? Yah has to break you to build you up. And sometimes, like when we're growing and we start, because we always talk about we have our foundation, right? And we start building our walls, and that's the things we add. Sometimes the way we're building our house, the Almighty doesn't like it.
He just washes it off.
So he breaks it down, right? He breaks you all down, and then he's going to build you back up. So 1 Samuel 2 and 8.
I got it. Wait, Paul?
1 Samuel 2 and 8.
Right down.
2 and 8, done.
But you're not there.
Okay, that's Judges, sweetheart. That's not Samuel.
Oh man, I was just at Samuel.
5, 4, 3,
I'm there.
2.
I'm there.
You're in Ruth now. Okay.
Oh,
He
geez.
raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among the princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. So he rises up the poor out of the dust, and he lifts the beggars out of the dunghill. That's kind of what Daddy always says, right? To set them among the princes. So princes are like the king, queen, and then the princes and princesses.
Foreign and got married.
I don't know. It's having some issues. Right? Psalm 75 and 6. Psalm 75 and 6.
Chapter 75?
Psalms 75 and 6.
Second or first?
They're Psalms.
First Psalm or second Psalm?
There is no first Psalms or second Psalms. There's only Psalms. You are in Samuel. Psalms. All right. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. Where does promotion come from? But from Yah is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. Or, right, sometimes it's not just about him breaking you. Sometimes it's about him trying you. And just like we see when he tried Abraham, when he had to sacrifice his only son, the son of promise, Genesis 22.
So I'm up to there, and I'm coming to Romans, and I just got to Genesis.
22 verse what?
Verse 10, I'm going to read it. And Abraham stretched forth his, you still need to go and follow along. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took his knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord came unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son from me. Right? Because the Almighty wanted to test Abraham to see if Abraham loved the Almighty or if he loved his son more. Right? Jeremiah 17 and 10. First one there reads. Jeremiah 17 and 10. 17 and 10. Well, then you have to look, sweetheart. Why the Lord whining about it isn't going to get you there any quicker. This is how you learn where your books of the Bible are. If you want to read it, you got to get there. Right? Yep, exactly. 17 and 10. Go ahead, Kai.
I, the Lord search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his way, and according to his fruit of his doing.
I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doing. So if he tries your reins and you're being wicked, what are you going to reap?
You're going to reap wickedness.
Right? If he tries your reins and you're doing good things, what are you going to reap?
You're going to reap goodness.
Right. 1 Corinthians 3 and 13.
Corinthians.
1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians what?
3 and 13.
6 chapters away. 3. I'm 13. Done.
Okay.
Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall be declared it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
Right? So sometimes when we're in our life and we're going through things, it's because the Almighty is trying us to see if we're going to be faithful. And sometimes it's because He wants to take us from a lowly point and raise us up. But you have to go through the process. You can't, when Zahara, we'll look at Zahara, right? Zahara didn't just be born and start running, right? She had to what? First learn how to sit up, then she had to learn how to crawl, then she learned how to stand up, then she learned how to walk, and then she learned how to run. How many times did she fall along the way?
A lot.
Like so million times.
Right? But that's part of the process. You have to go through the steps. And all of those things, every time she fell, they made her stronger. And same thing with us in our walk. So even though it may have seemed like Joseph just had bad luck and Yah wasn't there, all along Yah was ordering his steps for a greater purpose than even he could even imagine, right? He just knew that the Almighty said that he's going to set him above his brethren. But what does that really mean in reality? Like in the natural, what does that mean? You're going to set me above my mother, my father, my brother. Genesis 39 and 21.
Genesis 39. 39 or what?
21.
I done.
But
the Lord was with
Here,
Joseph.
Kamara read 21, Ariel read 22.
But the Lord was with Joseph and shewed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. One of them's going to forget him.
Oh yeah, because Joseph went into prison, y'all. Sorry about that. So, no, he read 21. So Joseph was in prison, and even when he was in prison, y'all showed him favor. Go ahead, Ariel.
The people of the prison needed Joseph
Committed.
to Joseph's hand. All the prisoners that were in prison and whatsoever they said is theirs, he was Lord of it.
So right now, Joseph, he went from being a slave to being rose up to being the second in command in Potiphar's house, back down to being a prisoner, then being raised to like the head prisoner who like watched over all the other prisoners. So while Joseph was in prison, he ran into two unusual people. He ran into Pharaoh's chief butler and Pharaoh's chief baker. So even before this, a baker is a person who like.
I thought you said breakers.
No, baker. So these
What
are
animals?
these are people that like stand before Pharaoh. So Judah had never even met Pharaoh. That's like being a homeless person and then like the president, right? And then you're in jail, you're homeless and in jail, and then you run into like the president's right-hand man. It's like, what a coincidence, right? This is kind of important, right? So while they're in prison, the butler and the baker both had dreams, bad dreams, and these dreams made them sad. And when Joseph saw them, they were like, hey guys, why are you sad? Like, how much sadder can you be? You're already in prison, and now you're moping around, and it's not because you're in prison, you're moping because of something else, right? So then they told Joseph their dreams. And in return, Joseph told them the interpretation. So if I just came to you and was like, Kamari, I had a dream about blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, okay. But no, Joseph didn't do that. They told Joseph the dream, and then Joseph told them what the dreams meant. And so he told the butler, right? Because the butler went first. No. Yes, he told the butler. He told the butler, he said, your dream means that you're going to be restored into Pharaoh's house again. And when you get to Pharaoh's house, don't forget about me. Make sure you tell Pharaoh about me. And for the baker got excited, right? Because he's like, oh, okay, well, that was a good dream, so maybe my interpretation will be good. So the baker's like, all right, well, then this was my dream. And then Joseph's like, well, that means Pharaoh's going to put you to death. Do you think that baker's pretty happy? Yeah. I don't think at this point in time the baker can do anything for him. But the butler still could, right? Joseph said to the butler, Pharaoh's going to raise you back up and you're going to start serving the Pharaoh again. Do you think the butler remembered Joseph?
No.
That butler was so happy to get out of prison. He's like, I'm out! I'm free! And he's like, who, Joseph? What, Joseph? I had never heard of Joseph before. Like, dang, Joseph, that sucks. You didn't interpret this guy's dream. You're like, don't forget, when you get out of prison now and you go back to Pharaoh's house, remember me. Hello? remember me. Look, I'm blessed. I'm already here. I got the interpretation of dreams. I get dreams.
I wonder what
Remember?
the baker.
He is a done.
Oh,
Why
Right?
does he have to die?
and he's not the one that didn't even feel what.
I don't know what they did wrong to Pharaoh. Whatever they did wrong to Pharaoh, Pharaoh was
No,
like,
that's not the problem, but like the butler, you forgot about him. He should die.
but there's a purpose to everything that Yah does. Like, what if okay, just listen, there's a purpose to everything that Yah does. He orders our steps. He knows what's going to happen. So even though it seems like Joseph's probably like, get your finger out this mouth, get your finger out your mouth, get your finger out your mouth. Joseph is like, this sucks. Like, I have done nothing to any of these people, and nobody's in my corner. But the Almighty knows. He's setting this up. He's like, sometimes when you play chess, and you may sacrifice this pawn, and you may sacrifice that pawn, but all along you're setting it up for you to take over that person's king and queen. And that's what the Almighty does, and we can't see it, right? But the Almighty is already seeing everything, and He's setting it up perfectly for you to take your shirt out of your mouth. Totally. Right? So Joseph